still here. We're doing these every other day, which I think is wonderful. So I'm going to start out. I had a rare instance where I was listening to something other than your videos or my videos. I was watching, or rather, I was listening to a podcast, and it was one of the worst things I have ever listened to. It was just this kind of disgusting. It's called Behind the Bastards, and it was an episode that I was told about Gabriele D'Annunzio, because I love this guy. I think he's a really fascinating character. And this podcast is like it. Instead of calling it that, it could be a resentment cast. It is like it's like, oh, did somebody actually do something with their life? Evil, bad person. And that is really the prevailing sentiment. It's like, why? It's number one. It's like, why don't things change? But then also, like, somebody tried to do something with their life. Look at this evil person.
We recorded a podcast earlier today, and I feel like there's a point touching on this like notion of it's a better a multitude of ideas. One is critique is autobiographical. I feel like if one is to critique anything outside of themselves, it's often a matter of projection of their own inadequacies, and it's part of the reason I have a lot of issues with commentary channels, despite kind of like functioning similarly to one with some of the more recent work I'm doing. But that's one layer. The other is I would much rather 110% of the time be like out fucking in the woods doing stupid shit like chopping down trees and getting crushed by them than like sitting on my couch and kind of like being like, oh my God, that idiot is out there in the woods doing all this stupid shit. Like I'd rather be getting hurt.
Just the kind of resentment that has overtaken culture is unbelievable. And this is what we talked about earlier in the podcast. So everybody should give it a listen when it comes out. I don't know when it's going to come out, but when it does, you should be listening. We destroy modern moral politicking. Oh, there's another good one. So I've been posting interesting memes when I announce our live streams for the day. And the other day I posted one that was the girl smiling and a broken Lego Millennium Falcon. And it's like, oh, whoops, I dropped your Millennium Falcon. And the comments on that, other than obviously just being like, oh, I would kill her, I would kill her, I would kill her. But there was one that I thought was just exemplary. It just got really to the meat of the situation. I wonder if he's listening. Probably not. But it is the username Fascist Incel. And he says, like, I would kill her if she had touched my Legos. And I thought, this is the perfect picture of the fascist incel. Little boy who is angry mummy touched his Lego set.
The funny part about it is like this is a really bad hot take, but I think people would like him more if he actually went through with it than just said it. Like we idolize we idolize the incels who have like gone rogue in a sense, have actually acted it out. This is not at all advocating for such a thing, but it's hilarious to think about how I don't know, so much of even the anger that is projected through a lot of these mediums is literally, it's so detestable by solely the fact that it's just words. It's just energy.
Very true. Very true. Speaking of energy, we're going to have Drama Mineralis on again in a bit. So,
all right, I'm excited.
Yes, the best. I'm going to be doing a podcast soon with a good fellow who has his podcast, Homo Vulgaris. I'm going to be talking about Lane. Did you finish Lane, by the way?
Almost, yes. But I'm familiar with Lane Gang, and it's growing
I didn't. Yeah, I didn't know there was such a crowd around it. Let's see that we got a comment. Chris, you often talk about the anima and how important it is to integrate it. I was wondering your thoughts on men who do not engage in relationships. How detrimental is it to their development in mind? And that is something I wanted to talk about. It is so unbelievably important to reach out into the world. Just as your muscles atrophy when you don't, that is what happens when you are not engaging in a social life. So it's very dangerous to not have relationships, especially with women. You always, because a guy, especially one who others women in a very essential way, they must make contact with the other. Just in the way that anybody who is racist should reach out and have friends so that they can kind of grow as people. They don't realize that there is no real critique of the other. It is just projections. The other exists solely as projection, which is why integrating them, knowing the people and recognizing your projections on the spot will grant you enlightenment, really. That's what is said in the Tibetan Book of the Dead. Upon meeting a demon, you have to recognize your projection immediately. If you do not, you will go straight to hell.
What do you think about maybe monks or people like famous hermits secluding themselves? Is that can anything come out of like maybe internalizing your experience and just existing completely in like the world of projection? Anything other than some mail bombs,
Certainly, that is what asceticism is about. It's that's meant to, instead of having the unconscious, embodied in other people in relationships, it all goes inside and kind of becomes divine experiences, hallucinations, and so on.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that is why there are ascetics. They, instead of being a man of the world, they are just a man, an isolated man.
I think this makes me wonder if there's a way to deliver particular ideas, because on your channel, even if there's like a phase 2 that's more about the physicality, it's like about the man that is MemeAnalysis, the great Chris Gabriel. I feel like cutting through, there's like the topical layer of the memes, which can often like grab the attention, but like cutting through, I feel a lot of what's attractive about the content is that you're offering maybe different ways to conceive something that has been so like hammered in over really like the past decade. Specifically, I see most extremely online people as having these like, this is how sexuality is supposed to be. I'm not supposed to masturbate. I'm supposed to, go to the mall and do my pickup artist exercises, or, I'm riffing here, but just like cutting through the shit and just being like, here's why you should go talk to people outside. Here's why you should befriend.
Well, I think it's also like, who else is saying what I'm saying? People say that Peterson does, but I don't think he does. You can say what you want, you can disagree and all, but who else is doing what I'm doing? So I'm happy, just as I'm happy in that situation. I'm saying the stuff that I want to say. I'm creating the work that I want to, for the most part.
Peterson's he's back.
Yes, he is back. He is back.
We the Meme Intelligence Agency, its roots run deep. We have connections everywhere, but we've got a Brett Weinstein connection. So Jordan Peterson on the podcast. Maybe.
we had our taps. We heard it months before. We knew when he was we knew when he got it. We knew when he got better. We helped him along.
More importantly,
funneling funds into Russia.
We knew why he got it, who he pissed off, the exact combination of words he said. Michaela Peterson psyop. You heard it here first. She's not a real human being.
Did you see what I sent you? Did you see the meme comparing the 4 p.m. honey to
yeah.
Michaela and Peterson eating their steaks.
It's funny. I had seen that on another thing and wanted to send it to you. I was actually going to post it on the Instagram account, but it's man, I love I have a love-hate relationship with like Peterson's interactions online and the responding crowds, because it's like you see such projection because he is the paternal, but it's also just like, man, we hold particular people in an esteem not to say certain negative things, but all holds are barred with him, and people will like straight up be like, I want this fucker to die right now.
I really do think, though, that one is about people that can't clean the room. I do honestly think that at a base level, because he's wrong about tons of shit, but I think at a very base level, it's people with dirty rooms that are like, oh. Really, I think.
Oh man,
because they don't criticize. They're not criticizing the theory. They're just like, they don't like his authoritative masculine disposition.
I think one pretty decent critique on him that to me it's more of a critique on just like people being dumb, but he'll talk about ideas that are very contentious, and he'll like lead them to the edge and pull it back. So he'll talk about Hitler, talk about like why World War II is happening, provide maybe more of a in-depth psychological take on some of why that might have occurred. And BreadTube will be like, he takes it there, and then he leaves it for his audience to be like, wait a second, was Hitler that bad? Like, and to me, it's like, I feel we should be able to have conversations that allow us to frame particular things that are very, I don't know if you can hear that. There's like a fucking thing.
It sounds like a garage. Is it a
garage?
garage?
It is a garage.
See? I'm like a detective.
All right. Yeah, no. I think we should be able to have conversations like that, and the onus shouldn't necessarily be on the person with the platform, but it is a true thing that a lot of people will watch that and not take away the ideas that he's actually talking about. It'll be more of a, guttural speak to right, wrong, red, black, or red, blue.
One of the big points that I think he makes that he's right about and that people have a lot of distaste for is that you have to be able to recognize Hitler in yourself, which is just the Jungian shadow. But my God, people cannot accept that. And they don't really, people don't realize when you are like degenerates, look at these degenerates, look at this blank, look at this blank. It's because that is you. We're still at that point where people cannot recognize that what they hate in others is a reflection of their own personality, their own unconscious personality. For all that you despise about simps and degenerates and gays, yet again, these are all people who are in their own, in what they would call simps and degenerates and gays. They are the very thing that they think they despise. Sorry, thank you so much. My bad.
It's damn, fuck, you got
Thank you, baby. We got, thank you, Ismail Hernandez. We got, greetings. What's your take on Manly P? See, Manly P Hall is the very best. And I've been actually thinking about talking about Hall. I don't know if you listened to my talk with Josh from Randonautica, but we talked a bit about elemental spirits that are present in the randonauting experience. Like, it can put you in touch with elementals. So that's the part I really enjoy. That part of Secret Teachings. I also enjoy the part about black magic, and it talks about how, no matter what the black magician who has sold his soul to the devil tries to do, no matter how good of a deal he had made with the devil, his life will always end in horror, being dragged down to hell. And that always stuck with me. And it's a wonderful book. I would highly suggest it to people who want to get involved and understand magic. Elementals are the elemental spirits. Like, the spirits of fire are salamanders, which I had talked about when I did the match trick, because you have to summon them twice. Air spirits are sylphs, which are like, ethereal ghost spirits. Water spirits are undine, but supposedly they were discovered by Paracelsus. And then it's dwarves and mannequins for the earth. But what were we on? Oh, projections.
One of my favorite tweets from you is it's like we're no longer in a realm where there is any online politics. It is all just neuroses. It's just
No, just fetishes. No
Okay, was that?
politics, just fetishes. Very different. It is very different. Because it is all fetishes all the way down. All popular politics today are fetishized, or rather, are the fetish itself.
What do you think about
Thanks for the donation.
The DNC? They had their e-conference
I know we were
yesterday.
talking about it this morning. I still didn't watch it.
I guess maybe an interesting thing to talk about then is just the what's your take on what's going to happen with the mail-in voting and the current
that one yet again really funny, because that one is a pretty darn manufactured freak out. Like, the whole situation is just that he doesn't want to give an extra $25 billion. It is not as if he is destroying their budget. And also the idea is, like, for some reason they want to be able to get votes that are put in on the day of election day. But everybody that does mail-in voting knows you have to vote before that, because mail letters take a long time. I just think it's a very, very odd, amusing thing. Reading Ion, what's your take on the Antichrist? L. Ron Hubbard, he wanted to be the Antichrist. Crowley and Nietzsche both thought that they might be the Antichrist. Trump could be the Antichrist. He is very much like those guys that I was saying. I think he's a Hubbard-esque character in politics. What else we got? Support unity. No, we need to divide as much as possible. Divide and conquer.
What is Unity 2020? Is that led by any particular entity?
Trump is reptilian. Let's talk about reptilians.
Oh my gosh. This is okay. I heard about this ahead of time. I thought they would do this. This is the Weinstein thing. This is like a push for some sort of other thing.
But I got a really interesting message today. Somebody asked, "Is MAGA hat the mark of the beast?" I got a really wonderful message this morning. I want to give the name, or I don't know if he would want me to give his name, but I got a really interesting. I'll read some of it from a very interesting fellow. He messaged me, and he did a Kabbalistic analysis of MAGA. Let's see. You ready for this?
Mm-hmm.
MAGA follows the form of Jehovah, with its movement from the transcendent to the material, while ACAB, which is all cops are bastards, is analogous to the reverse form, Havayo. The top-down character of MAGA is emphasized by its numerical value of 45, expressing the fact that it is imbued with and inseparable from the personality of the 45th president. ACAB, in contrast, is a mass movement and upwelling from the general population, chakma, similarity, undifferentiation, etc. ACAB has more pronounced paternal elements and relates to the supernal father, chakma. MAGA emphasizes the maternal and relates to the supernal mother, binah. The common element of both symbols is A, Aleph, 1. Aleph is the first letter of the alphabet, which is associated with the first Sephirot, Keter, the crown. Keter is transcendent, that lies beyond all human comprehension. It is the base reality out of which these two mimetic symbols manifest. Both symbols represent a striving for a past golden age. What an awesome message. I was so happy. These are my favorite messages. If anybody wants to message me and you want a response, do some Kabbalistic analysis of memes.
That's I'm still reeling from it, but
yeah, I've been thinking about it. I've been thinking about it all day. I love it. Jared Kushner is Trump's Garfield. They were right. They were right in New Jersey the other day. This person. I know, Pablo. I'm gonna ask him on. I'll message him right now. I'll say, you just read your piece. Just read you on the live stream. Thanks.
Do you I'm getting a question about MIA on YouTube.
No, these are two separate projects. This is a magical project. MIA is a podcasting memetic project.
MIA is it is a wing on a flightless bird.
Mm-hmm. Like I don't know about there are many. Then that's like just all wings, right? They're just like completely covered because it's like down.
It's the wings without flight, body without organs. I've seen a lot of content on the mailbox thing's kind of boring, but I guess the only thing I'd have to say about it is it's just an example of like a meme that has become imbued with a sort of like dichotomy of contention. Like either side can choose to argue around the point. There's like a very good inflexive type of principle in memetics that if you put it inside of an idea where two people can kind of flip around it, it happens constantly in politics, and it's like a very emergent phenomena with almost anything political, because you have this like two-team dynamic. I want to talk about Unity 2020 though, because I had heard about it ahead of time, and that network of people who are, I believe, going to promote it are very, very much tapped into the internet. Like to me, that's the IDW, which is sort of like a maybe it's like the if we have certain media organizations as an arm of different seeds of capital, I would say the IDW and their kind of like Joe Rogan podcast network has always struck me as Silicon Valley, and Peter Thiel specifically, who has a bunch of weird connections to a whole realm of internet thinkers. Like I know he said he admired Moldbug at one point, or some shit like that.
It'll be a move for the better, I think. If it was even possible to get a popular third-party candidate, things are moving for the better. That's what I would say.
There is this format. I don't know if it's worth stealing from Red Scare. It's like the Red Scare love line, where it's sort of like hot takes on romantic situations, but might be interesting.
We should totally do that. I don't know if we have enough people that are in the romantic relationships though.
Well, I think we would do it for someone just asked, Samuel asked, is there any way to stop being a doomer?
Okay. That's what I spent the whole damn channel talking about for the past like 3 months. All the doomer stuff.
My thought with that is like we need maybe more details, I think. And
totally. Well, we should have. I wish I knew how to. I don't know anything about this. We need an editor so that we can get like people to put like little blocks of text, like send in blah blah blah, do blah blah blah, or like super chat and you get to do this. Send this and you get to do that. Mm-hmm. We definitely need a structure to it. These are formative. We still have, I don't know, however many more to do.
I think we are. Let me think. What day is today? We have at least 14, I think, left. But honestly, this was one of the ideas today, was like sort of anyone who is regularly attending these or interested in following the arc of this memetic magic project. I think community sourcing, kind of like visuals and art, and just any sort of concentrated effort that can be offered is very much appreciated. I believe
send in. If you send in your art, we will do something with it. Something big.
We'll turn it into a sigil.
So what Key Lime Pie said, what I will say is that this is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. This is the way the world ends. Not with a bang, but with a whimper. Bro, you need an editor? Hit me up. Etna, hit me up with your work. We will talk. Message me on Insta, message me on Degram, and I will judge your editing. Let me think what else. Okay.
You want to go?
No, it's okay.
I want to quickly comment on this neo-stoicism comment on l'étranger, the stranger, Albert Camus, Camel. I saw a really funny tweet about Jordan Peterson connecting that back, where they were saying his life was like a fucking novel of that ilk, and I would say that that's definitely like I think you're almost providing like postmodern ethos and whatever its solution might be. But if anything, Jordan Peterson should be the the instance of there not being an answer. I feel like that's what if I was like a fucking professor, humanities professor right now, I would stoop down to the level of the personal attacks and be like, he thought he could blah blah blah.
Like, don't you know Nietzsche went insane? But no, that quote what you said, neo-stoicism, reminds me of one of my favorite Blake quotes. I must create my own system or be a slave to another man's. We are, it doesn't even feel like it's been 30 minutes, but we are 30 minutes in. Wow.
Time flies when you're having fun. We're talking it up. It's the bros.
Yeah, the boys were all together.
I talked about that. Let's talk about the boys actually, because I feel like there's a lot to be said about the short term or short form of what the boys is it's like this collective on TikTok, on Instagram, on a lot of places. It's like this appeal towards a sort of like juvenile masculinity, or maybe just like a youthful it's like boys locker room, girls locker room, or it's like for the boys, here's her at for the boys, and in case you want to go, jerk off or whatever. I think it's a fascinating meme, and I think the fact that TikTok is trying to like self-regulate and be like, the boys need to become men and stop harassing women in all these capacities. Like, I mean, I get you harassing people to the extent of like seriously hurting them, not good. But when you say someone's harassing someone and it's like more of a meme, things are harder to pin on.
And yeah, no, like I hope that that's something my channel does not come across as. Like, I'm not necessarily like the anti-fun brigade, and I would be more lenient if I knew the age of people who are, I guess, doing certain things. But I think the big problem is that much of the youthful chaos has been transmuted online, which is very bad, and that's, I think, why it becomes more and more vicious and cruel. Because it's not able to exercise itself, like you were talking about earlier. So what in the past would have been relatively a dignified cruelty, like driving around and destroying mailboxes and egging houses and stuff, that's good. That is good. And doing cocaine. And like that is the Chad boys versus the virgin online boys jerking off to anime and making memes and being depressed.
It's going to Lane. We're all feeding the e-girl spirit. Lane is getting more powerful with each gate. Honestly, if we're gonna,
Lane.
Yeah, no, we're a hashtag Lane Gang podcast now.
It is true. We are a Lane Gang podcast. We hate anime, but we love Lane.
Fuck, we need I'm Alex Kazemi is on my mind because he emailed me, and
when did he email you?
I think it was like a day or so ago.
Okay.
But it was just like pretty much a hello. But Bret Easton Ellis came to mind with the Coke thing and kind of the whole 80s, 90s thing. We need Bret Easton Ellis on here if we can somehow stretch that.
Yeah. But even then, even in things like Less Than Zero, even at the very worst of the 80s, even the most decadent, disturbing elements of that meaningless party nihilism, that was still more dignified than what happens online today. Really, 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 really.
I think here's what we need. We need to emulate aspects of that, but I want to integrate like Lane worship, where we have VR headsets and you're simultaneously like, oh god, this is bad. This is a bad idea. But we need like, are y'all all familiar with like Eyes Wide Shut and some some occult Hollywood, like these parties that are happening and it's all of these evil elites coming together? We need the techno version of that. We need VR headsets where everyone gets to participate, and we like sacrificially, like chop up some. Oh god.
So are they VR viewing a real party? Are they at the real party, or is it?
It's gotta have layers. Yeah. I don't know.
Like a rotoscoping human sacrifice to
Mhm.
make sure that it doesn't get charged.
Yeah, no, this is a meme. I don't want to be put in this camp, but that is a. I do think, here's a conspiracy theory from this one very influential Alex Jones podcast, but he was talking about how all the elites, they aren't even on the Epstein Island anymore. They're all in this conference room with like IVs of DMT as they're talking to the machine ends.
Yes, yeah. Destroy
I
the child, corrupt them all. Yeah, well, that's why we should do pneumogrammatic work, which is like Nick Land's form of Kabbalah. And so that, because there are like new demons that are still being discovered in the Kabbalah. Excuse me, all the Kabbalist demons are discovered. Like all the Gerdic demons are found. But in the pneumogram, there are new demons. Like there are demons who have not yet had like an established community. And that's what some of the people that do pneumogrammatic work, like they are still talking with these, they're called lemurs. They're like creating relationships with lemurs and starting new lemur cults around certain ones that are not yet established. So maybe the importance would be like new gods to provide.
What do you think of Ari Aster? I think that's his name. He's the he did Hereditary.
Yeah, wonderful. I think Hereditary is like not. It's a good movie, but it's not good for understanding magic. I think Midsummer is a much better movie in my view.
I just wonder, it's hard not to see, especially things that come into the mainstream as like iterations from whatever's actually going on with these particular ideas that circulate in spheres of influence. So I'd wonder, like, at what point are we going to see Landian occultism inside of popular media, if ever?
No, it's because even that film is dreaming, like, and I think it's very hopeful. Like, if you are a mourning mother and you get involved with some new age people and they get you into fucking like Solomonic magic, you're in luck. Like most of it's just complete bullshit. But there are no people that are doing Gertic magic. There are no like new age hippy dippy fucking Gertic demon cults. They just don't exist for the most part. I'm sure that there are some little ones, but like I think that's pretty ridiculous.
Someone asked if we can talk about the impact of the seams of reality and what they should actually seem like.
I call them soft spots, liminal spaces, which are, places where the unconscious or the other world is very near. Sorry, dear. Could you get the AC? Thank you very much. No problem. Thank you.
That was a nice coincidence. As you invoked the back rooms, we get the ambient sound.
Let me think.
Dude, I had this vision a second ago of like 2 or 3 years down the line, someone's gonna use that clip of me talking about like VR sacrifices and be like, he's a Satanist, he's an occult. Like,
just like how quickly can we get a conspiracy about us? That could be that could be the goal of this. That could be the goal of the podcast. Everybody watching, write a very convincing and exciting conspiracy theory, post it on our conspiracy or wherever. Make a meme, make a conspiracy meme about us. Then I will. I don't know, the winner, the one who catches on, I'll message your account and I will give you a cigar. I'll send you a cigar in the mail. That's the gift. Or on X, wherever. I don't know. Just make a really nice conspiracy.
Yeah, put the insignia. We have a document that we found that no, I don't know. Maybe it's in somewhere in the older MemeAnalysis community tab. But
Oh, Michael, you're wrong though. They are mapping out the DMT entities. There are people that are doing active research on it, and I do think that many are pretty dead set on establishing a map of what I would say is the collective unconscious. Whiskey Tango Niner. What I would say when you say I'm still trying to figure out if your beliefs, I can't decide if you're on God's side or not. I am on the side of the God of love. If you believe that God is love, then I am on that side. That is what I believe. Let me think.
This question at the bottom is going to trigger you.
I know. Every day. Every day. Every day. Every day. Everyone thinks he was taken from CIA after taking in-depth science on DMT and the unconscious. Chris gives up on internet. I don't think I would become N-Prim. Didn't know anything. I thought it was just an Alex Jones conspiracy. No, but there is. If you listen to Mysterious Universe, there's a Mysterious Universe episode about this guy, and he talks with the guys about his exploration of people's unconscious minds through DMT, or rather, what I say is the collective unconscious, because there are shared entities and such.
This might be an interesting segue where we can bridge back to neoliberal hatred. But I know some millennials who I used to work with in some capacity who, like, the most open on the personality spectrum of them, talk to me about organizing a trip to South America to do ayahuasca. And this was like they were open, but they were also like a hyper conscientious like go-getter, do everything always 110% of the time. I'm working ahead of the schedule. I've got my binder out. But it just felt like such a, Silicon Valley is like, it seeped its way into like the popular capital mentality when it's like, oh yeah, no, you're going to the meditation retreat. I hear if the CEO really likes you, you get to go down to South America. Who knows what happens there?
The experience that I've had with some of the people, I guess, who get to know me through this, or at least the ones that I've talked to in real life, there's almost a like, do you really believe this? Like they kind of test, like in the same way that Silicon Valley people like claim to believe in ayahuasca trips and think that they're spiritual, but really it's like, yeah, this is bullshit, right? And it's like, I don't believe any of this. So that's the experience I've had. Like, I talk about stuff and people are like, do you really think this? Is this actually what you think? What books do you think would go well with Crowley's Book 4 and Gems from the Equinox? Magic Without Tears. Magic Without Tears is difficult to get because it's so expensive, and that's how you can tell it's a good one, because the OTO doesn't want it out, because if it was out, people would have a very clear vision of what Crowley was talking about, because he was very clear in it, and they would not be happy because they don't like what he has to say. Snapchat ghost in the name of TikTok. Do they seek to confuse people's temporal perception? Yes, I love this comment. Totally, that's a really fascinating perception, and I completely agree. I definitely do think that there is a sigil element of the ghost, and the idea of it being TikTok instead of musical.ly or musically or whatever. So I do think that that's very important. Also, Nostradam, there's a lot of like incomplete versions of that Magic Without Tears. Like the one that is on hermetic.com is incomplete. They edited the fuck out of it because, yet again, they're not happy with it.
I really like that comment. I was when I was a little more concerned with building a sort of reputation within the academic system at my university. One of my ideas I was like seeking to put into experimentation was about basically trying to apply like the notion of accelerationism into the like condensed information that could be contained within varying like social media platforms. And the thesis kind of like functioned off of the idea of TikTok and like older versions of Instagram or Twitter or Tumblr, and just how much, people spend time on TikTok, especially if you spend a lot of time on other platforms and feel exhausted because it's like they feel as if they are investing more energy, even though they're spending the same amount of time.
Mm-hmm. That's a very time travel based idea. Thank you, Ivar. I hope I'm pronouncing your name correctly. I'm going to read you a tweet though that I had retweeted recently, and I thought that this one was really fascinating. So if you don't follow me on Twitter, number one, you should. It's Goddisk. Two, though, this guy Aaron Z. Lewis says, one thing that fascinates me about TikTok is the deconstructionist way of seeing, hearing it implicitly encourages. The app's creation tools make it easy to take the sound from someone else's video and use it in your own. A user-generated sound can easily go viral, detached from the video it originally belonged to, if lots of other creators use it. This means that when you're watching a video on TikTok, you're not just taking it in as a whole, you're deconstructing it in your mind, thinking about the sound separately from the visuals, trying to figure out how you might reappropriate it for a new video or meme. It's common to see comments that say something like, this sound is going to blow up, even if the video's visuals are not that interesting. Similar to when you see a picture that's almost asking to become a meme template, like Trump holding a blank whiteboard or something. For people who create a lot of content, the TikTok mode of hearing seeps into everyday life. All the sounds in your environment become fodder for future videos. It's a different way of perceiving, like the face when you gain the ability to hear the individual instruments in a song. I think that, exactly, Michael. I think that's really a profound observation. And I do think that that is really the dangerous thing, which I talk about all the time, the Catholics learning to not perceive real women, but to see corpses, is the way that children who use TikTok and children who excessively browse the internet are learning to see and hear, just to perceive through memes. A food becomes associated with a meme. A smell becomes associated with a meme, and forever you have been tainted. Your unconscious is going to retain that.
This just gave me so much insight into a prior idea I had that I feel I should cement into the ether so I can get my IP. But inside of there's obviously like I call it like this idea of like the confluence of narrative, or like you simultaneously have you're forced to take in so many different nodes of meaning and tie them in these kind of like more complex webs than most narratives typically. It's kind of like rhizomatic in a sense, but memetic hierarchies. This is some Blair Chapman IP right here. TikTok, the app itself, is structured to show you when a soundbite is going viral. It shows you the most popular instances of it and the original, and it will effectively show you how a meme can evolve over time, what types of things make one iteration of a meme more competitive than another. It's like insanely insightful to just like understand the nuances of maybe like public perception of information and what it is that causes influence and the impulse to share and reiterate. But I always, the second I saw that on TikTok, I was like, China doesn't fuck around, man. Like we I say we, I don't really have a hyper strong sense of national identity here, but the US, we have some pretty good social media analytic tools. But China really upped the game with TikTok, and everyone is going to be competing on a different level now. Like their AI is fucking insane for like telling who you are, what you're interested in, and the types of insights they can draw. It's like, it's funny to think that TikTok probably knows more about most Gen Z, millennial, just anyone than they tend to know about themselves. And that's,
Well, yet again, I think I'm not going to get too conspiratorial on this one, but I want to. I badly want to, but I'm going to hold it off. But if you don't mind, I'm going to look for it's something that I wanted to read before, but I'm going to try to find it now. So talk some more if you would like. I'm just trying to find a little reading to read for you all.
I about a year ago, I got the Chinese version of TikTok because there's 2 different versions. So I have it on my phone. It's like my main line to any data on my phone. I'm just giving away to every intelligence agency. They can all have it. Reverse the here's a good thing. This is a cultural observation about Gen Z, and a difference in millennials to Gen Z and just how much time you spend online. But we're seeing a flip side of data protection where it's almost like intentional data vulnerability, where people will put increasingly risque things online because they are simply at the point of accepting, we are being watched. All of this is out there. So I might as well, flip it on its head. And it's like OnlyFans will be normalized. It causes a certain ethos to develop that is like, it's why so many people are making OnlyFans. Is it's like, I don't care anymore.
Drama MemeAnalysis is here. I want drama to talk about OnlyFans. Drama, what do you have to say about OnlyFans?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes.
Sorry, I'm late. Thought you guys were...
You are a little bit in and out.
Yeah, the mic's a little crispy right now, but what do you think of OnlyFans? What is your Reichian or Freudian take on online sex work via OnlyFans?
Oh, it's reverse. I mean, it's just an abomination of sexuality and...
Darn. Your mic is not doing well.
Can you hear me?
It's like it's not doing well.
You guys sound really slow.
Yeah, it's just like roboting right now.
All right, how about now?
No. I'm sorry.
Yeah, we could just do it another time then.
Yeah, sorry that it's not working out. Yeah, I agree. Aliens have interfered. We were going to get too big. Things were going to happen, but it was good to see you. Hope next time we will get it right. We could practice beforehand, but so long.
Yes.
Drama.
I think it's worth if he can't get on the live recording that out, because I really want to hear what he had to say about OnlyFans.
Oh yeah. Drama. If you're listening, we will publish you. If you analyze OnlyFans, we'll put it up. We'll have the video ready to go. I'll just find the thing another time. What did I say? 8. My bad.
Building on what we were saying earlier about liminal spaces, I feel this makes me think of actually. I used to live in the Middle East growing up, and I would spend time at these malls, and I'd say it was structured similarly to most malls in the U.S. or actually malls over there are a bit different. This was 5 or 6 stories, and they had all of these kind of back rooms behind these sort of industrial spaces. And we'd sometimes as children just go kind of wild and just be running around these massive, very populated malls. And I many times ended up in spaces that were the absolute definition of the liminal space. It feels it's something eerie yet so familiar, but it seems like it'd be an excellent place to do some sort of ritual or different ways to kind of transport that space somewhere else or what have you.
It is pro Sam. There's something that Neil Gaiman talks about in The Sandman, and he has the green. Is that wait, girl? Yeah. Is his name the Green in Sandman? The Fiddler's Green. The Fiddler's Green. That's it. The Fiddler's Green in Sandman, and he is the embodiment of a soft space. He is the entity of the soft space. It's very fascinating. It's a really great piece. The Sandman is full of really wonderful magical insights. What is a good start for magic? Nanda, I would highly suggest Book 4 by Aleister Crowley. Oh my God, we just got 2 horny posts in a row. Did you see this? What the fuck? Okay.
That took me a second to process. I was so confused. All right, I got it. Yes, I've been cyber attacked by the. I think that's actually what's going on here. I think Drama's insight is too.
No. It was too powerful. OnlyFans is attacking OnlyFans, a tool of the Chinese. They are waiting. They're trying. They are using their OnlyFans, just like Nietzsche described progress, where it is many people that are just victims to create one thing. What we have, I have read Swamp Thing by Moore. I love it, but I don't actually love it, but it's okay. But OnlyFans is actually aimed to get like one politician's daughter so that they can blackmail the politician. That's the entire reason that OnlyFans exists. It's to get like 1 or 2 people's nudes. And they'll be fake consumers. They'll be fake customers. They'll think that they have a real fan base, but in reality, it is just the Chinese government. And they're using these, and they're going to blackmail the governor of wherever. Did you see those guys praise that guy who shot his balls off? Do you think it's self-castration and death drive? Why are people compelled to point loaded guns at their taint? Well, like one of the early Christian theologians castrated himself, Origen. Castration is a very vital element of Christian feelings, Christian morality. This is why even today we have the idea of any sexual immorality from modern perspective, that it should be punished with castration. Very important.
Oh, you had an interesting thought on the Kellyanne Conway daughter situation that you had sent me. Do you want to link that to the OnlyFans politician daughter?
Mm-hmm. Yes, like Kellyanne Conway's daughter, who normally you would assume that, say, the daughter of somebody is going to have relatively similar political views. But in the case of Kellyanne Conway's daughter, what we have is we have a little Patty Hearst, but rather than the Symbionese Liberation Army or the Pekingese Liberation Army, she was taken in by TikTok and the internet and made into a little communist. So that is what happened. That is what happened. And no, Charlie Wegner, many people castrate themselves according to one of the lines in the gospel, which is essentially, if thine eye offends thee, pluck it out, and that it is better to go to heaven without part of your body than with it and go to hell. We're doing good. We have 8 minutes to go. So
Kellyanne Conway is interesting though, because I'd say she does not function like your typical e-girl, where lookism tends to rule. Like your craftiness and exactly what you look like tend to be the 2 determining factors for success as an e-girl on TikTok. But she has certainly slotted herself to be the sort of darling of alt TikTok, and really court. She is very similar to like Tana Mongeau, and this sort of like constant need for it's so similar to so many influencers, but the idea of courting a lot of controversy. Like she had this whole drama where it was like she was getting arrested or something along those lines, and her mother had called the police on her, and she gets to like exist as this victim within the mansion who needs to be rescued.
You put it perfectly. The victim in the mansion. Tony Damnation. OnlyFans is a plague that needs a cure, and I'm the cure. How do you propose? How do you propose? Yeah, what are you going to do? I'm going to do the best I can.
We need to send everyone with an OnlyFans to Tony.
Yes.
And he'll take care of it. He's got it handled.
Enough said.
Nothing else. I trust this man. But I trust this person. We're not going to gender you.
Maybe not the cure, perhaps an ointment to reduce swelling and itch. That's another thing. In both Crowley and D'Annunzio, you see a lot more of a almost pride in STDs. Like, I think it's something very amusing. Like, he has the line like "smear gonorrhea into my eye," and there was a high up OTO priest who's like, "I wish he'd never written that poem," because they're like angry that people are like, "Oh, you like to eat poop." It's like, I always say, if you want to learn magic, you got to learn to get fucked in the ass. Yes, Tony could alternatively. He will be the only. He is the only fan. He will bring all the fans in. He is like he is the only. He is a sex god.
That's some good shit. Tony, the only fan. I feel like that's the harbinger of OnlyFans, is the one fan who will be the only fan.
One fan to rule them all.
That's like some Saudi Arabian sheikh who's just like, all right, fuck everyone. I'm buying the entire platform. I want all of these people in my harem.
What I will end it with this though, because we're getting 5 minutes in. What I will say, and this is something that I find really personally funny. I have like stats on the stuff. Every live stream we lose subscribers, and I think that's really funny. I think people like come in like being like, he's based in Red Pill, watching, they maybe watched a video and then they watch the live stream and it's like, oh fuck, like he's crazy. And I know every time we lose like 5 people, which is not that much, but like it's really funny to me. I do enjoy that. I do think that's very funny. But so for the real ones who stick with it, the real ones who love the madness, the real ones. And it's okay. I don't know. I don't think you need to agree with me to subscribe. I don't want you to. I want there to be a good solid fan base of varying. I want a diverse. Yeah, filter this. The live streams exist to get the most tolerant fans who can handle my hot takes coming a mile a minute. I wonder if we analyzed it, how many hot takes per 1 hour. That's what we should do. We should just cut it down to 10 minutes and all hot takes nonstop.
There's no discussion about them either. It's just like one-offs that are just riffing.
Mm-hmm.
I think other thing is we need the think tank. I think drama. We got younger.
Yep.
I think we could load up. Make once we get off of StreamYard and we get some other stuff in there, do some sigil work, do some invoking of the memes.
It'll be good. Think tank, big think tank. See, let's see. Novel solutions say, "Are you anti-Christianity?" Gee, bud, how many videos did you watch? See, we're gonna get. Well, this is gonna be like excess loss of subscriber. But of course, what do you think? How many videos have you watched? I don't believe in free will either. Ifrit, I'm so happy you've come. Ifrit, you should come on the stream sometime. We need to have alien themed stream. One quick coronavirus hot take before this ends. Okay, did you see the pool party in Wuhan? That is the ultimate arc. China, I think, spread coronavirus conspiracies back in March and January and December to move the collective unconscious in America and in the West to be paranoid about the disease. Then, as soon as things began to happen, it was like, oh my God, this is terrible. But China was like, no, this isn't even real. We're fine. And now they have the big pool party while some of the West is still under lockdown. I think that is a very good joke. I think it's really funny. It's a brilliant psyop. That's my take. Also, I agree. My friend is friends with Viper. Materialism is by far worse than Christianity. I don't even dislike Christianity, but materialism is completely worthless. But in terms of no free will, there's weak and strong will. Not free, not determined. And it's okay, don't even bother with the AC. Freud believed that fetishes come about due to young boys' shock that women don't have a penis, and that shock. Yes, I have a video on that. To me, that's a very important element, is that, like, it is right. It is completely right. men are looking for phallic energy, like in the nose, in feet, in women's feet, they find what was the mother's phallus, which he finds to not exist. That sex energy that would have gone into the mother's phallus is put into the foot, into pubic hair, into underwear, into whatever fetish, into boots, into socks. These are all where the mother's missing phallus goes. Freud uses the example of a nose, of a belly button, and so on. It is just about it's just called fetishes. It's just like fetish analysis. All right, fellas, we made it to 1 hour. It was good. Be well, everybody. Bye-bye. Thank you for the donations. Thank you, guys. Bye-bye.